Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And I am bringing up the stream on my tablet so I can read the chat. Since I have my phone mounted up above my table and this German box of awesome. It looks a little bulged up because when I did a spread in a Ration group that I posted this in, I really couldn't quite get it packed up the way that it originally came, because someone is a lot more efficient than I am at packing these things. But this is type 6 or menu 6, a best buy date of February 28th of 2026. I bought this off of an eBay seller, and I can't seem to get past the ad on my tablet. I hope you are seeing this. I definitely have a bit of a lag. I noticed that yesterday when I was in a couple of live streams. There's a bit of a lag, but I hope you're able to see this, because right now my tablet is froze. Curious Pete is here. Thanks for dropping in. I'll just refresh my tablet browser before I go any farther, because I want this to come off good. Tim Riley is here. I had to stand up to look at my phone screen to see that. There we go. It's refreshing on my tablet. It could be space weather going on. I'm not sure what is messing with my connection today. But right on top, we have the menu list. There are 6 menus, at least in this production run. I'm guessing it was 2023 because I did look through this and I saw 2023 on one of the items. But I'm going to put, and now this on the back side is just how to do certain things. So right off the bat, this is a chocolate mousse powder. I think what I might do is just hold the box off to the side. So I've got chocolate mousse powder. And I'll probably put some of these larger things aside. Here's a fruit muesli. Got an accessory bag here. And there'll be several drink mixes. This is a citrus, orange, exotic. Grapefruit. European grapefruit drink mixes are awesome. Got banana chips. Conowar Snacks beef jerky. Got some bars here. Got chocolate. Got a large sesame bar. Looks like a second chocolate bar. Little tiny cookies. Lemon pepper tuna. And as if there's not enough pepper, this is a pepper flavored or seasoned spread, kind of like a pepper butter or something like that. Got a couple of jams here. And 2 different pâtés. And the canned bread, which I absolutely love. Now we've got the 2 entrees. And then the second entree. Oop, there went the box, but I'll get it. This is the bolognese. This is something fricassee. That's kind of what I can make out from this. So these pack a lot of stuff in them. I think I'm going to have the fricassee entree. So I will put the bolognese back in. I'm going to put that one off to the side. I'm going to throw a pâté back in. And I'll keep one out. I'm going to throw the tuna back in. I think I'll keep the cookies out. I'm not sure about the beef jerky yet, but I will put one of the chocolate bars back in the box. I think I'll put this jam back in the box. Keep this one out. I'll think about that, this one here. I think the banana chips would be good in the fruit muesli, so that could be something. That's a possibility. I'll keep the beef jerky out because I am interested in that. So I'm going to put the muesli and the mousse back in. And I'm going to put this big box up It's behind my table. I think I'm going to have the orange drink tonight, so that will go in the drinking jar. These other three will go back into the box. There are a couple of things that were loose in the box that I just decided to go ahead and put in the accessory bag. Very nice, thick zipper bag. So in here we got some tissues, coffee for my 4NMRE mug tonight. That's the one I brought out. This is gum. Then got a tea. I'll try that next time. Another tissue pack. Got cappuccino. Got BB Med branded wet wipe. There's another tea. Here's the other coffee. And you get 4 water purification tablets. That's a nice thing to have. And a very famous German wood matches in the book form. Those are very cool. Coffee creamer. So you get 2 of those. These are sugar sticks, so I'm going to put one in there. Salt and pepper. And these are 2 instant soups. I am not going to use these during this review. These will be saved for something else. I might have a little fun with these at a later date. So I'm just going to put everything back in here that I'm not going to use. Just to get it out of the way. The very first time I had one of these EPAs, when 4NMRE was selling them, you actually got water bags, like about 4 ounces or something like that. About maybe 200, like 100 mils or something like that. I don't remember what those were, but the water packets, like emergency water packets, I guess too many of those busted, and the ration packer decided to switch to the purification tablets. Which is a lot easier. You don't have all the mess in your ration. So I put the packet way down in because some of these powders can be very, very dusty. I'm just going to use the Walgreens bag as my trash bag tonight. This looks a lot like orange juice. Has some extra coloring added, but it does look a lot like legit orange juice. None of it stuck there. These call for a lot more water than sometimes. A lot of these call for half a liter of water, 500 mils, but I like them a little stronger. And now I'm going to do the coffee. They call this coffee extract, but the packets don't have a tear notch, but that's okay. My little mini cheater will take care of that. It's a very fine powder coffee. Spray dry. Smells pretty good. Four grams of sugar in these sticks. Oops, I got that. Actually got the top end of that in there. They pack these very tight, very efficient. There's a tear notch for the, or maybe not. I'll just cheat. The creamer almost looks like powdered milk. So it very well could be powdered milk. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and take this 300-gram bag of goodness into the kitchen, and then I will come back with the kettle for my coffee, and I'll be right back. I am back. The coffee is still quite dark. Cold War Prepper is here. Thanks for dropping in. This is a German 24-hour EPA menu type, or menu 6. So now I'll bring back in some of the other items that I got set off to the side. This is that canned bread. It's a rye bread. I think someone in here may have been able to get some of this while over there. Ooh, I about bent the can. I'm gonna have to reshape it so I can put the lid back on. Well, I'll do that later, but this is the bread. I dropped my pepper spread. That's what I was picking up. You get 6 slices. So I will put 2 here. And I got the lid back on for the most part. It'll be good till next week. I'll probably keep it in the fridge. Until then. A soldier in the field would probably have 2 pieces with each meal if they chose to have some of it for breakfast. These are vanilla cookies. Very, very tiny. That's all of them out of there. Sometimes people have gotten the chocolate cookies that are just like that, or maybe a chocolate chip. I don't know what flavor this jam is, but about to find out. There's a look at the color of it on the foil. Probably raspberry, it might be. There's Survival Empire in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So I am going to put that here. I'm opening one of the pates, or 2 of them. They appear to be identical from what I could tell by the label. And this one didn't quite open as a little difficult to open, but there's a bit of oil on these. Kind of like a chicken. I think they're chicken pate. Infosys here, thanks for dropping in. Spicy tuna rolls is here. This is a German EPA Type 6. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to put the beef jerky right here where I had this pate. Very small amount of that. And I'm putting the metal lid from my bread can in the pate bag, or in the beef jerky bag. So this is original beef jerky. These sesame bars are not like the ones that used to be in British ORPs. It's actually 3 separate pieces that easily came apart. I'm going to put the chocolate bar right down there with jam. Now that I've got all those opened up, which I can put, I'll just put this right here just so it stays in view. I'm going to go get the entree and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. But here it is. I use this to carry it in from the kitchen. I got a paper towel. I'm going to start wiping it off. Nice gusseted pouch. These rations don't come with utensils. The soldiers are issued or they provide their own utensils. But with a gusseted pouch, you can eat it right out of the pouch and not have to worry about having something to dump it into, but very easily opened. Oh, this might be chicken. I'm not much with German, but trying to get the last bit out that I can. There we go. There is a German chicken fricassee. Big chunk of chicken. There's carrots, Looks like rice, peas, mushrooms. Let the sesame bar before they start to melt. And that is what is in here. There's a close-up of one of the chunks of chicken. Not heavily processed. This is what the chunk chicken should be in the U.S. MREs, not so heavily processed. Take a taste of the rest of it. The veggies are pretty soft. I didn't get a pea, but I'll grab this one. The rice is very soft. It's got the right amount of salt in it. Might have dark meat chicken. And a nice big piece of mushroom. Not too bad. These are vanilla cookies. These are sesame bars. Got a chocolate bar, one of the jams, some kind of a berry jam, maybe raspberry. Got beef jerky. This is the orange drink, and the coffee with the whitener, but it didn't get very light in color. I'm just stirring it again just to make sure that it all got incorporated. Now, there's nothing down at the bottom. I probably would put a little bit more the creamer in there, but I'll save that other pack for another time. Yeah, when you look at these vanilla cookies, it almost looks like it could be a lemon flavor. But there's a close-up of one of them in the bottom side. The vanilla flavor is just there. I've had the chocolate ones, but it's been a while since I had those, but I really enjoyed those. That orange drink is just like a lot of the other European orange drinks, much better than the US version. Yeah, you maybe slightly bigger than the Pez. This does need another mix because it hasn't all dissolved yet, so I'll give it another mix. Yeah, vanilla Pez, who'd have thought? This is one of the bigger pieces of the beef jerky. Decent basic beef jerky. Most of the pieces are pretty thin, some are a little thicker, or they got folded. Kind of like that piece there. But a person in the field, probably on a cool day, could take one of the bouillons and then put that beef in it and then allow it to rehydrate in there. But otherwise, that's a good pocket snack. Yeah, the orange sugar does kind of look like Tang, but the dry powder did not look like the dry powder Tang. This pate is very, very dense. There's a little sliver I picked off the top. It's more like a luncheon meat. Really can't spread it. But the flavor's pretty good. I like that. In fact, I just may pop that out of here. There you go. I don't know if the other pate will be like that. There you go. I should be able to get a look at the inside. Might have to shift my tray because actually I could probably do a little bit of we'll see how that does. I tweaked my foam out a little bit. Can't see the drinks, but there we go. There, now you should be able to see everything. But that's actually that's a pretty decent luncheon meat type thing. Nice toasted sesame, not quite as sweet. You might use a different honey than what you might find in the British rations, but the fact that these are easily separated makes them a lot easier to eat. They're not so hard to chew. Only thing is, those who are allergic to sesame would obviously have to stay away from these. No, I'm not going to drop the coffee mug. I've already tasted one of the cookies, but I'll pick up a couple more. I'll go to this bread. I'm going to break it. There's a cross section. A little bit of the jam by itself first. Now that easily spreads. Yeah, they do look like coasters, but I'm one of those who really enjoys that bread. Some people don't like it, but I'm one of those who does like it. And I like this jam on it. Now, this is the same type of bread that you can actually get on Amazon in bigger cans. And they have a cartoon like farm scenes on it. Really cool. I lost a little bit of that jam, but oh well. That is some good jam. Oops, some of it got into my fricassee. If you're interested in trying this bread, but you can't get a German ration, you can look for the bigger cans of it on Amazon. Same diameter, but they probably hold about 3 times as much as this. Nope, this is 170 grams of it. But you can probably get like a 500-gram can on Amazon. But the other can that I got when I had one of these, I actually use it to hold my spare spikes for my ice cleats. I ended up with a lot of those spares because I would wear the rubber out before I will wear out some of those spikes, so I would just take those spikes out and I put them in that can. So this would make a great thing to organize stuff in, but I'll have to tweak this one a little bit since I bent it up trying to open it, but nevertheless, I'm keeping that can. I'm going to try a little something here. I took some of this and I'll have a bite with the rest of it. That definitely makes it a little bit saltier, but it's not bad. Get a little bit more chicken in it that way. I'm kind of like you, folks. I like to have my bread every day. Or it might be crackers, but, I like to have my bread every day. Speaking of, I'm going to have another bite of it. Oh, pumpernickel is good. I haven't had a good pumpernickel in a long time. Ones you get in stores, when you can find them, are probably not all that great. There's another big bite of mushroom. This would not be one for those who don't like or are allergic to mushrooms. So, Prepper for the Ages is here. Thanks for dropping in. That's okay. To me, you're late if you're catching it on replay. This is a 2023 pack. German EPA type or menu 6. Just a few months past the best by date, but some of the items go longer than that. The muesli and mousse powder have longer best by dates. Yeah, this is comfort food. A soldier in the field would want something comforting as well as nourishing. Kind of boosts up morale, especially if he or she has been doing a lot of stuff out in the field, heavy activity, under stress. You want something to kind of give you a bit of a mental boost. I got this box from a Facebook seller in one of the ration groups that I post in. I'm in several, but I just stick to posting in one. And I'm going to be doing another deal with this guy in the near future because you know what, I think I got this from some, I don't remember who I got this one from, but anyway. I've been getting rations from a few different sources lately, but this one definitely excited me. It was actually that Facebook seller sent me a French ration in addition to the Dutch. So I got this one from someone else, I can't remember who. I love these German and other European drink mixes. So much better than the American versions. And this beef jerky is pretty darn good, even the thicker pieces. Yeah, I had one of the 12-hour ones once. I was going to do a collab with another YouTuber, but then she got super sick and she just told me to go ahead and do it on my own schedule, so We both had the same menu somehow. But yeah, I've only had one of those, but it's been a few years. And I really enjoyed that one. I would love to get hold of one of the French freeze-dried rations. Oop, getting that one in the jam, but that's okay. I'm going to try a little something here. That sesame bar held together after a couple of dips in the coffee, but that kind of wakes up the flavor a little bit. Yeah, dipping this on a cool day, if you dip this in your coffee, it would wake it up, probably make it easier to chew. That definitely works. But I gotta go back to some more of this. So the fricassee's this good. I bet the bolognese is going to be equally good. There's a little bit of that kind of a chicken gelatin that I grabbed from the chicken lunch meat. I'll just call it like a luncheon loaf. That's okay, Waffles. You're still here. You made it before it went to replay, so that's all good. Oh, it is. This chicken fricassee. This is a good one. And the chicken is so much better quality than what you would get in American rations. Your comfort items like these little vanilla cookies. I just took a swig of coffee while I was chewing those cookies and kind of wakes up that vanilla flavor a little bit. Yep, I still have a couple of 2022 pack MREs. And I have a 2019 pack. That's a cheese tortellini. I might have a little fun with that one. This, I believe, is a raspberry jam. That's what it tastes like. Very good jam. I'm not very good with German, and I don't bother trying to use the Google Translate because I seem to have issues with it trying to get it to even scan the item I'm looking at. I got a little bit of the jam on the sesame bar. That totally works, by the way. Yeah, that is true. I would definitely be taking a careful look at that one when I do open it up. Yeah, and like I said earlier, this stuff you can actually find it on Amazon in much bigger cans. And I have done that. Yep. That was a good one. I enjoyed watching that one. Have some more of this beef jerky. Yeah, this looks like a good dark chocolate. That is definitely a good chocolate. It's dark but not bitter. Still got a good snap to it. And the fact that you get two of these in one of these rations, that's a morale booster. This stuff kind of has the consistency of the inside of a Vienna sausage, maybe just a little bit coarser, but I do like the flavor of it. Thanks for dropping in, Waffles. Hope to see you another time. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to try a little something here. Since I had dribbled some, or I let the underside of one of these sesame bars flop on to the bread that had, the bread slice that had some of that jam on it. To me, that works. A little something different. I have a drink of coffee. Yeah, that kind of wakes up that flavor a little bit. That other bread slice is not going to be naked for too long. I have not yet opened this butter spread yet, but I think it's time to do that. You know, some call it butter, some think it's more like a cheese. You can see the pepper shaker with the dots coming out of it. What the heck? I'm just going to put it all on. Now, this is more like a cheese than a butter, but it looks like butter. It could be a form of shelf-stable butter. I actually have one of these in my fridge, and I have the hot pepper one. I got that in a mystery box some time back, and I've been keeping those in my fridge. I'm going to see how easy it is to spread this around. I never warmed this up. Spread's pretty good. Kind of like the spread of a butter. The pepper's not too intense in there, but you can see the flakes of it in there. Actually, I'm going to take a bite of my fricassee with that on the backside of my spork. If it was a little bit softer, it's probably about the same consistency as a cheese spread. But it's not too peppery. There's just enough for you to notice. Goes good with that bread. I'll have another bite of it. That's pretty good stuff. I like it. To me, that seems more like a butter than a shelf-stable butter than a cheese. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like to me, and I like it. have to go back for some more of this. The U.S. ration packers need to step up their game and get some stuff like this going on. Like I said earlier, there are 2 soup mixes that were in the accessory pack, but I'm going to try a little something different with those later on. I think it might be interesting what I'm thinking about doing, but that'll be for some time in the future. The Sunday after next Sunday, my start time might or might not be on time. It all depends on if I get to go work the White Eagle Multicultural Powwow booth at the Des Moines Arts Festival. We're having to deal with a bit of red tape as far as they want nonprofits as well as other vendors and exhibitors to have some kind of insurance thing. So we're trying to scramble to get that done. Yeah, we didn't know about that far enough in advance to try to get that put together, so it's been kind of a rush job. So I'm hoping that we can still do it. So it ends at 5 o'clock Central, but then we have to pack up, take down a canopy if we will have one. We're going to have, we have a mini teepee that we set up at the powwow itself in the kids area, like near where the kids crafts are, and we put some things in there and little kids can go play in and around it. But we have that in the batch of stuff that will go to the art festival if we get to do it. So I'm hoping to find out tomorrow if we are a go. Then we can finish gathering up the supplies, because we have already been gathering up the craft supplies for that. But that will be at the Western Gateway Park, just west of the downtown library. I was saying the day trunk, it's the last weekend in June, the 26th, 27th, and 28th. I was saying the dates wrong earlier, so I apologize for that. But But my plan is to take what I intend to take to the location with me to the mosque. Then after Friday prayer and handing out the lunches at the mosque, then I would just hop in a bus and go to that park and join up with the others. I had a lighting idea because Friday night and Saturday night the art festival runs till 10 p.m. and so we may need some evening lighting, and I got an idea for that. But I'll discuss with it if we are a go for the art festival. I'll continue discussing my idea with them and see what they think. I got the strip lights so we could have lighting for the canopy, and I have a power station that I could plug it into. So that's my plan. But one of the things that I'll also be bringing is those yarns that I rescued from the laundry room that were all kind of bunched up together. I spent a total of about an hour, sorting those out into the 3 different types. And the one type is suitable for beading, like stringing pony beads on. And then another type is a bit fuzzier, probably not, wouldn't be easy to string beads on, especially for little kids. And then another type is a thin string that has this glittery fringe on it. And I showed the pictures of it to a woman who does indigenous beadwork. Different patterns that her tribe uses. And she might do some other patterns as well, but she also makes what is known as regalia for indigenous dancers. And so she has made a few pieces, and a lot of times they can have some serious bling on them. So I thought this might be a good one that she might be able to use, and I'll just give it to her, see what she thinks of it. This luncheon meat would probably also be good on this bread, but it's just not spreadable. To Carlos Perry in the house, thanks for dropping in. The chicken fricassee, very good. This is that pepper spread. It looks like butter. It kind of has that feel. Kind of has a taste of butter. Got beef jerky. I ate the raspberry jam. I ate the sesame bars. Beef jerky. I kind of messed up the can as I was trying to open it, but I'll try to fix it later. But this canned bread, there we go, that's a little better. I'm going to store that in the fridge until next time. This is German EPA type or menu 6. Yeah, that's okay. Some people can't come in all because of their timing issues, because of where they're watching from. But I would definitely recommend this menu. I got the orange drink in my drinking jar. So much better than the American drinks. I got the coffee. I put one coffee whitener in, but it doesn't. It's more like a powdered milk. It's not like putting the same amount of an American style coffee creamer in there. Very good chocolate. These are the little vanilla cookies. Still pretty good. That's okay, life happens. You've got a lot to deal with. I brought out the Foreign Marie mug because the previous EPA that I had was one I had originally got from Art and Nina. And instead of water purification tablets, it had a Ziploc bag with some of those emergency drinking water pouches. And then an actual name on it. This used to say Einmannpackung, but here's Ein-Personenpackung. So it's one person pack instead of one man pack. So that's another change. I had tried to get one of the bagged EPAs off eBay, but because of some issues with the seller's payment system, it would not accept US dollar payments, regardless of, whether it's from a PayPal balance or you had more than enough on a credit or debit card. It just would not accept US dollar payments, and I couldn't buy it. I tried to buy a Danish ration, same thing. I had to take a pass on that one, tell the seller to cancel because it wouldn't accept US dollar payment. So unless the ration is already in the US, I just don't take a chance anymore. Yeah, very good dark chocolate. I got the other one out of the box because you get two of these. I'm going to look at the cacao content in here. I'm still looking for that. So let's see. It was made in Landberg, Germany. It's got the ingredients in here. But I don't see the... Oh yeah, that's a... Actually, I see a 55% on here, so I don't know if that means it's 55% cacao, but it seems like a darker chocolate, but this is a very good chocolate. No bloom at all. Good snap. It's actually been pretty decent here in Des Moines. We had storms earlier in the week. A little bit of rain yesterday. But it has not been as warm as it has been. We're supposed to be in the 70s to lower 80s, at least for the next 10 days. On and off chances of rain. Now, Thursday was the worst of the storms that we had. There were some big branches blown down. I didn't lose my power, but where my late dad grew up, outside of Corning, that town got seriously shredded by a tornado and just high wind. No doubt when we go there next month to Lake Icaria, we're going to see some of that damage. I'm in a Facebook group dedicated to the town of Corning, so I have been seeing a lot of the pictures and some video clips of the storm itself and what was left behind. Some places had it worse than us with those storms that eventually moved east. But 11 counties were declared state disaster areas. I don't know yet if our governor is going to go for federal disaster declarations, but time will tell on that. You should still be able to just go right back in, because later in the afternoon, Friday, I thought I was going to have to reset my password, try to recover my account. I went right back in to my Facebook. I didn't have to do any of that. I had no trouble with Instagram. I didn't check on Threads because I do have a Threads. I do have WhatsApp. I had no issues. I really didn't check in the WhatsApp that day, but it was about 12:30 or so, or maybe just before, that I was able to get back into Facebook without having to try to recover my account and reset my password, because it was an outage. It wasn't like I personally was hacked. But I'd go ahead and give that a shot. See if that works. Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you did that before the outage, that probably would have helped you complete that process. But if you're trying to do it during the outage, then that probably would have been a hot mess. Yeah, only time will tell if our governor requests federal disaster declarations for some counties. How far that will go. And this is that black pepper butter spread. I'll call it that. But weather investigators are in the state now looking things over to try to get a better idea of how bad it really was, especially in the rural areas. Now, the pepper is not very spicy at all. I can just barely get a hint of the pepper, but you can see the pepper specks in there. I have one of these and a chili one in my fridge that I got out of a mystery box, and I've been keeping them in my fridge for quite some time. I actually went to experiment with them to see if it will actually melt like butter and I can use it to fry eggs in. I don't know if anyone has ever tried to do that with the German pepper and chili spreads. But it is good on this canned bread, just like the jam is good on that bread. get 6 slices in one of these cans, so I'll use 2 next week, and the other 2 I'll probably just eat on my own. I think 2 is enough for a meal, especially with all the other food that I'm putting out on my tray. So get 2 coffees, 2 teas, plus a cappuccino. I'm going to do one of the teas next week. I don't know what drink mix I'll pick. I'll probably just randomly pick one. The grapefruit is my favorite of European drink mixes. Yeah, that is an experiment that I would like to do. Oh, filming it might be a little difficult considering the way my kitchen is. Although with this foam melt, it might be easier to put it somewhere and tighten it down. Whereas the white one I had been using for years, it was just a spring clamp, like the jaw. And the jaw on this one is spring loaded, but you can adjust it. Whereas the other one you really could not. You could adjust the pivot ball. You could adjust the head pivot, but that's it. This one, I have a video on it. I showed, the base of it where it clamps to a desk or table. I can adjust that. I can adjust the pivot on the pivot ball. I can adjust the tension on the jaw itself. So 3 adjustments, whereas the old one, I only had 1. Plus this one, the flexible arm is a lot stiffer. The jaw is wider. It can accommodate wider phones, especially those in their cases. It was money well spent on that one. Now this is orange. Grapefruit would probably be closer to the color of these cookies. Sometimes the grapefruit is like a yellowish, not like the pink grapefruit flavored one that you get out of an MRE Star ration. But the yellow grapefruit color is what they mostly are. But this one is definitely orange. Maybe I'll do the grapefruit one next week. That way you'll be able to see kind of the difference in the color of it. It's kind of like the exotic or the lemon, or the packet says citron, but it's like lemon. Square the chocolate. A few of the vanilla cookies together. Classic chocolate vanilla combo. Chocolate goes good with the coffee too. Yeah, bugger. I hope it doesn't get too bad. That short that I put up, the lightning. After that, it was pretty much all blow, no show. Not much rain really came of it. We had the wind, but there was really not a whole lot of rain with that one. But I hope you're paying attention to the weather and your weather radio is ready to start making some noise if things get really bad. I got the volume up pretty high on my weather radio. That way if I'm in the bedroom and it goes off in the middle of the night, I can hear it. Plus it probably might wake up a neighbor too. I don't know how many others have the weather radios, but I would definitely recommend having one. Because they can definitely let you know if something bad is going on. I get the alerts on my phone, but when I'm getting ready for bed, I shut my phones off, my primary and my what I call my backup. I have apps on it and I do internet on it, but I can actually make emergency calls on it. I get text alerts or system alerts on it, but at night when I'm getting ready for bed, I shut those off because I think they charge faster. You know, they're not getting too hot because if you use a phone pretty heavy, the battery can get kind of warmer, especially if you're doing video and just a lot of stuff. It can get a little bit warm, so I wanted to be able to have a chance to cool down because when I'm done with my stream, sometimes my display, my screen on my phone that I'm streaming on, the brightness level will actually get automatically knocked down a bit. And that's how I know that it's probably gotten a bit too warm. But some people leave their phone on all night long while it's charging. Yeah, police car just went somewhere on a street that's a block away from here. I can hear it even with my slider closed. My air conditioner is cycled off, so that's why it's not running. But it'll probably come back on in a bit. It cycles on and off. It doesn't run constantly. Yeah, everybody should have a weather radio, either battery only or electric with battery backup, or actually both. Or if you get one of those emergency radios, the crank radios with the weather band. The last one of those that I bought doesn't have the weather band, but it does have shortwave. But I have one. The first one that I got, it got exposed to moisture, so the radio part itself doesn't work, but the light on it still does. But I have another one that's in a camping pack. But I really don't use that, but I wanted to get another crank radio. I have a small battery powered radio that I keep nearby, but it's just a standard AM/FM radio. But any kind of a weather radio that automatically comes on whenever there's an alert, yeah, I would definitely recommend getting a hold of one of those, because that could definitely get you out of a jam. In addition to weather alerts, it will broadcast amber alerts. So when a child is reported missing and there's an active search, if that is affecting your county, that would automatically come on. Just like for a tornado warning or flash flood warning or anything like that. I get the text alerts on my phone about that as well, but that's another thing that the weather radio does, is it'll broadcast amber alerts and other disaster alerts. So yeah, definitely get one. Yeah, definitely that, and I would consider 72 hour the bare minimum. Yeah, I have a good stash of midterm and long-term food storage here. I also put together a bucket. The only thing I do not have in there is water, but I have water purification tablets in there, because that consists of dry food. It's light. I can just grab that and go. I could take it, my wagon, some water, maybe my bug out bag or get home bag, or maybe both. I wear one, put the other in the wagon. You know, whatever other gear I can fit in there, and I could go if I had to leave here. But here at home, if I had to hole up here, and I couldn't use my stove to cook. I have alternatives for cooking inside my apartment and on my deck. And with that bag of wound closures that I bought to add to my medical supplies, that gives me an additional way to handle injuries, not only on myself, but if for some reason something happened to one of the other tenants in this building, or even a guest, and they get hurt, I have the means to deal with that on the spot, because I have those. I have those moldable SAM type splints. But I'm always looking to get a wider variety of supplies like that. So over time it builds up. But yeah, definitely have an emergency food supply that you don't need to heat. You know, when my apartment was flooded, and I really couldn't do as much as I normally would have wanted to, while the work was going on to get things put back where it was, where it should be, you know, fixing the walls and that, I would just go into my bedroom, get a can of like ravioli or SpaghettiOs or whatever. Now just eat it out of the can. I wouldn't bother heating it up, because I wasn't sure what was all messed up, especially in my kitchen. I didn't want to take any chances, so I just did that. Yeah, I treated it as if I was eating ration. And I could have gotten into my rations and just eaten one of those, but I didn't want to. Granted, eating raviolis right out of a can without heating it up, it's not the best, but I chose to do it. It's not like I didn't have power or anything, but I was rather cautious. For one thing, I was putting stuff on top of my stove that had to be out of my living room. I just left enough room for my coffee maker, and it was during the last 10 days of Ramadan that I was dealing with this, 2024. So it was a very, very hectic time for me, because I was also spending so much time at the mosque. So I spent very little time at home. Simply because I didn't want to have to inhale the smell that was generated from the funk that flooded material was given off. I had high power fans in here. My AC unit, which also does heat, that was put on heat and turned up to the max. They had put other heaters in here to try to dry my apartment out. I turned the exhaust fan on in my bathroom. In order to try to help pull some of the moisture out. I don't know how well those things work when they're in apartments and you got units stacked on top of each other. But I figured if I can at least do that, it might help a little bit. But yeah, that's what I was dealing with that flood. So I just chose to not take any chances. And just open up a can and eat the food right out of it. I didn't care. That's what I did. And I used one coffee whitener. It looked like powdered milk, but it didn't lighten up the coffee color too much. But this German coffee extract, as they call it, I like it. And have one more that I can have another time. So next week I will do the tea, which is a powdered instant tea. I'll put a packet of the sugar in. And that other coffee whitener I will save for another time. I'll show you the banana chips bag. This is 35 grams of banana chips. Those 2 halal certified Chinese rations that I had, I think those are only like 5 grams. You get a whole lot more banana chips in this than you did in those Chinese halal certified rations. Now this is the fruit muesli. I'm looking at the ingredients in here. Got raisins, plus all the grains. I'm trying to figure out if there are any other fruits in here. It looks like raisins might be the only fruit in here, but I could be wrong. But you could take the banana chips, add them to this when you're making it, and you can have some more fruit in there. no English on here, so I'm not good with German, and trying to translate off of a silver bag, no, that's not going to happen. But that's something that a person in the field could do if they didn't want to have the raisins as or the banana chips as a separate item. You could throw one of the jams in there. Some people have done that. Throw the coffee whitener in there, just to give it maybe a tiny bit more of a milk flavor, but there's still some of this that didn't quite dissolve. Yeah, that would be an idea that some people would probably do or already have done. So the entree for next week, I'm going to pull this. Yes. This is a pasta bolognese. I don't know if it has any meat in it. I can't tell that, but, and this is another 300 gram bag of goodness. So the chocolate mousse, I will mix that up next Sunday. Mix it up, let it sit for 10. So that's the plan for next Sunday. So I will take out of the accessory pack what I do not intend to use, and I add all those items to my stash. Little tissue pack, and both of those I save. That wet wipe I will save. The extra tea and coffee and the other drink mixes will get added to my stash. For a later time. Although what I might do with that chocolate mousse, I might put the banana chips in that. I think that could be fun. A little something different. It'd be worth experimenting. I've had a couple of the chocolate mousses before. To me, it was kind of hard to get it just right. Calls for 100 mils of water. I may short it. That's a little less than half a cup. I may short that. Just to see what that does. I think the last time I had one of those mousses, it was a travel lunch. The flavor of that was really good. I really enjoyed that. So I'm looking forward to getting into that one. But instead of mixing it in this pouch, which you could do because it is gusseted, I may just put it into a bowl. I don't know. I'll have to see. Like I said, I may put the banana chips in there. Yeah, there's a decent amount of powder in there. But I may put the banana chips in there. I think that would be a fun experiment to see how that comes out. Yeah, this orange drink would have been a good breakfast one, but I just wanted the orange tonight. I don't know why. I wanted the orange tonight. So that's why I went for it. Swirling it to get the last bit off the bottom of my drinking jar. European drink mixes, especially the German, the Orifo. I like the British ones as well. They're so much better than the American ones. So I'm happy to have a few more to add to my stash. And this German coffee extract, yep, it's a winner. That will be the plan for next Sunday. And as I said earlier, the 28th, I don't know what that Sunday is going to be like yet. I hope to find out tomorrow. Because depending on how long it takes us to break down and pack up after the art festival, which ends at 5 o'clock on that Sunday. It could take us an hour, could take us more than that, or could take us less, I don't know. But because the buses will now be running later on Sunday, I should still be able to take a bus home. And I can either use my wagon, especially because I won't be hauling much. I'll haul my power station back and forth. But I can put my Opus in my hauler. that's the one I will most likely use because it's got two USB-A ports. It's got a USB-C port. It's got two standard wall outlets. It's got the other 12-volt outlets, the one that used to be known as a cigarette lighter, or you can call it a car adapter port. Plus it has a light on the back side. It's got a 600 watt inverter, so it can put out a continuous 600 watts, although I don't ever want to try to push it to that much, but with just plugging in lights and maybe charging phones, and if I take my solar panel that would have to be carried separate. I may end up putting that one in the wagon if I do need to charge it, because we will not have an electric outlet anywhere near where the nonprofit area would be. But yeah, I would definitely take my Opus to give us some juice, and they know about it. I can plug my string lights into it for night. And then when we pack up for the night, I would have to get a ride home Friday night and Saturday night, unless I leave early and someone else has to look after my my power station and my lights until Sunday. But yeah, I'll have to discuss that later if we get to do the art festival at the end of the month. But I'm kind of putting together my plan just in case we do, and then figure out how I can pull that off. You know, since I ride a bus, I won't be able to haul as much as others could, but I don't have a lot of stuff that I would be bringing myself other than the yarn, my power station, my string lights, and we're going to be responsible for our own food, so I'll take my own food and some water bottles. I may throw some drink mixes in there. I'm not sure, but I'll figure that one out. But we will have 2 more weeks to get all that stuff put together. If we do get to do the art festival, I'll shoot some pictures. I would not risk trying to shoot video unless there is no music playing, because there will be music there, because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But I would at least do a little recording if we got a bit of downtime. Just like I do when I go to the powwow. If I got a bit of downtime, then I will record some of the performances. Sometimes there may be copyrighted music, but I just get a noticing that I won't be able to earn revenue off of those videos. but I'm okay with that because I know my other ones will get me a few cents. But if I can document that event, then I do what I can, and I will share that with the powwow committee because then it can be used for publicity, especially when we're trying to apply for grants. And the grant funders want to see what grant applicants are into, what they're doing. Then I told the committee that, if you need to use my footage and pictures for publicity or whatever, go for it. I'm happy to share. And so I've done that. Others have done that, and we'll just keep doing that. But anyway, that's the plan that I hope to carry out in a couple of weeks. If I do get to do the art festival, then I will go ahead and put up a post saying that the 28th, my stream start time might be a little bit later. It all depends on when I get home, but I still would want to go live when I get back. So I'll definitely be a little hungry and want something to eat, but I'll still want to share it with you all. But I think for tonight, I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me tonight for this 2023 pack EPA Type 6. I'll come back at you next week with the rest of this. Anyway, thanks for watching and catch you on the flip side.